Hello, this is Daniel Ritchie, developer of Howler 9.0 and soon to be released 9.1. We'd really like to show you a few of the features that are coming, and I'll start by just showing you the new interface that we've developed, or more specifically a new look, which is the light on dark look. In the past, we've used a systems look, which was sort of a black text on a light gray background. But this was great when Windows 7 came out, and we wanted to really accentuate the Windows 7 look that we were embracing at the time, and that was quite a while ago, though. But we've decided recently that really professionals who are using graphic software really pretty much since the beginning have been using a light on dark look, a light text on a dark gray background. That's because they sit in a people in the CG industry and who do photography and other types of design work usually sit in a dark room all day, and they don't want to see the glaring stark white and other colors that are jarring when you're working on content such as CG imaging. You really want to focus on the image itself and not the interface. So we've redesigned the look of the program to use this light on dark, which is helps keep the focus more on the imagery itself. All right, so I'm gonna import an image with the browser just to show that let's see, just to show that when you're working on these images, there's sort of a focus is now taken off of this background, off this the scene, the interface, the GUI, and you're now really focusing on this image that you're looking at. Had this been a glaring bright gray and all these other colors on here, you'd probably be distracted with that interface. So that's an option that we've added. It's not the de facto you have to use it. There are a number of built-in colors. We still have most of the original color schemes that have been in the program since version 6. We've gone over them carefully to make sure the colors are more unified now. We have a more a unified color scheme than we've had in the past. We've reduced our interface rendering pens down to, I think, four pens now that are typical, meaning the background, the text color, and then there's a highlight color or an outline color, and one or two others. But we've basically unified all the colors in the UI, the interface, to use these few pens, and we've gotten rid of a number of gradients and things that were just really chrome that didn't really add anything to the experience. As you can see now, when we select an icon, it becomes highlighted, but it's not all the shiny chrome as we've had before. And this is sort of a decision to really put the focus on the content itself. This is the modern standard, if you will, to focus on the content. So that is one change we've made in Howler 9.1. We've also gently redesigned our icons to be a little more professional looking, for one, a little simpler. We don't have all the little glints and little shading things. We've gone with more of a flat style. This being just kind of the going style these days. We don't have the rainbow anymore. We just replace it with an icon that looks like a gradient, because that's basically what the tool does. But that's just some of the things we've done to the GUI. So what have we actually added in the way of functionality, you ask? Well, we've done quite a bit. This has been a process of transformation inside of Howler. We've really examined where we are in the industry, where we would like to be, and we've decided, even though we've been very much a unique program, we don't try to be Photoshop or one of the other programs. We feel like we're led to do our own unique take on things. We've always been a bitmap program where we're not trying to be a vector program or a semi-vector hybrid type of thing where you work with objects and then they eventually become a bitmap. It's always been our priority to get your drawing into a bitmap as soon as possible in the drawing process. We call it the burn and go process, where you put your pixels down and then you move on to something else. It's a very we try to have a very quick workflow instead of where you sit and muse over something for a long time. We're just kind of like that. I think we like to see our thoughts on the screen. We don't want to have to think them too much. We like to see what we're doing as we're working, in other words. It's just a philosophy, but we have really considered this against other programs, other products, how they work, and have made a few compromises because we realize our way isn't really the only way of doing things. So we've started on a few tools we thought were really needed in the program. This is really just the first stop. 9.1 is really just the first stop on a process we would like to continue for a while in really changing and evolving the program, if I can use that word, into something a little more professional, something a little more something that the average user is really going to want to use, and will be able to pick up without a lot of changing of their workflow or their style of working. We still want to stay fast and keep that burn and go process, but we're making a few compromises also. So one thing we've done is started working on our alpha tools, and I'd like to go on to a alpha tool here, and as you can see, we've added a few options to the context strip up here. One is this replace and add subtract mode, which we had before if you went to alpha options and drop that down, but they've been moved up here to make it more simple to get to. So say we had a drawing, I'll just outline something there, and we wanted to add or make some modifications to that, say continue outlining this here. I would just go ahead and select that mode, and I think I just unselected that. Let me do that again, and I'll just as you can see now I can just continue to add to that, or I could use the right mouse button. Say I got too much of this over here, I could go in and subtract as well from that. And that is just one feature we've moved onto this context strip to make it easier to get to. Let me clear this alpha channel. And another thing we've had requested is previously when you flipped an alpha channel, it would flip the entire alpha channel, not just that local part. So this, if we flipped it, it would end up over on the other side of the screen, but we've modified this now, so when you flip horizontally, it is local. It no longer flips the entire image, it just flips that selected part of the alpha channel. We also have a new class we've added to the program, which is going to allow us to do a tremendous amount of things, but for the time being in 9.1 we're hoping to get this free transform tool working inside the program. And as you can see, we've already made some progress on this. You can open up this free transform tool, and this will eventually allow us to modify this alpha channel, move it around, scale it, rotate it. And this is still beta, so we've not actually got the functionality of that in there fully, but it is just showing the process that we're going through to really modify our workflow so that users of other programs will be able to come in and just start using the program. Traditionally, we've been a brush-based program where if you wanted to move something around, you would simply pick it up as a brush, go to that tool, for example, and you would be able to then move that brush around, and it would you just place it down by stamping it down or such. You can then make changes to that brush by scaling it and all that stuff. But admittedly, there are a few extra steps in there when all you really want to do is just go into a free transform tool and manually tweak and modify it. We believe that's sort of the wave of the present, where instead of having controls on a panel somewhere that you modify, you actually just work with the image on screen in an intuitive way. And that is something we're really aiming for now and into the future, to really get the program to where it's more intuitive and there's a faster workflow. So these are just a few of the things we've been doing. We've also made some changes to our some of our tools. I'll show you that. In fact, as you can see, we've also added some new across the drawing tool. There's been some changes. We've added these 3 buttons, which were previously on the settings panel, and they've been moved up onto the context strip as well. These let you select the 3 basic internal types of brushes: the internal brush, the anti-alias pen, and the custom brush. And that there's a lot of discussion that could go into that, but just basically telling you, for the sake of working more quickly, those have been moved onto the context strip at the top, which are always available. You don't have to open a separate panel to be able to view those. And as I was saying, we've added some new parameters to some of our tools. This plasma noise is something we use tremendously a lot. So actually, let me clear this, and I'll go into the plasma noise tool and show some of the parameters that have changed there. Say we're working on a 3D object or a height map, we'd use this plasma noise as a basis for a height map to create scenery, or you might use it to create clouds. And before, you would just get a grayscale image or a black and white image of these clouds, but now we've added some color sliders, so you don't have to go in and later change these colors. You can do it right inside the panel itself. You can make some really beautiful looking clouds. We've also added the new modes, combined modes, where you can combine these with the image that's already in your image there. I'll just hit OK to that, and I'll go back in to that panel again, and now we're going to combine some more clouds on top of the clouds we just previously made using this complement mode. And you can see we're going to make some really beautiful looking stormy looking clouds. Or there we go, that's looking kind of nice. You could also alternately change the scale and have different size scales going at the same time, and other types of things. There's also a new seamless button that will save you one step of turning that into a seamless image. You can do it right here inside the plasma noise. This is something we use a lot for scenery and landscapes. So having that inside of the plasma noise filter itself just saves one more step. You don't have to go anywhere to use it. So turning that on will just automatically make your noise seamless. You could have just as easily done it, or not just as easily, but you could have done it by going through the make seamless filter, but that just saves you a step. So as you see, we've rethought some of our tools. There's really quite a lot that's going into the program architecturally. It'd be kind of difficult to talk about it, but we've made it changes to our button controls. We've removed a lot of legacy code that's made it more faster and more responsive. That goes back to Windows Vista, where they added a desktop composition mode to Windows, and it really slowed down some of our code. And we in version 6 we removed a lot of our legacy code, but we still had trace here and there, and that's just some of the legacy things we've removed that was really helped, I think, improve the responsiveness of the interface. You can see these panels are just a little more responsive. I mean, they weren't bad before, but I mean, you can just, it's not so much something you can see, but you can feel the difference, I think, on especially on a little slow machine like the one I'm running on right now. But these are just some of the changes we made. We've also rethought some of our color tools. As you can see, there's now a little icon that appears when you go to select a color tool. It's just a small addition, but it kind of makes you feel like that tool's active and it's doing something, even though it's it's just a little detail. But it really a better example would be in the color mixer, where there are two different modes where you can paint on this color mixer or this color palette, and you see that icon now turns into a crossbar. But when you have it in the selection mode, you see the drop, we call it the turkey baster, and that's just one little visual cue that lets you know which mode you're in, and it's just these little details that really kind of add up to make these, and it all kind of also helps you know which tools are active and actually do something, or I mean, versus a say just a text string or something that doesn't do anything. But and as I said, we've made some small changes, and it's just a little detail, but I think I like it quite a lot better. Is we've made these little, they used to be just a single line across there, and now they're sort of a little grab bar that you can grab onto on this color sweep editor. By the way, we call it the color sweep editor because not only can you change the colors, the red, green, blue values by moving them up and down, but say you wanted to make a sort of a grayscale value, but also a grayscale that has just a little bit of a color to it, you just sweep across, as you see there, and it's just a quick way of mixing red, green, and blue values. I mean, you can mix, once you get used to it, you can mix a color like in no time flat without hardly even thinking about it. Say you need a yellow color, you just do that. And what did that take? You probably saw in one frame, maybe two. But or a blue color, that's all you have to do is sweep across there and you got a blue color. It's very intuitive once you get it, once you practice it a few minutes, and it's just something, it's a very quick way to mix a color. It's just a different way of working than some of these other ones, but and that is just one more small modification we've made to the program. This is something that probably isn't going to get into the version 9.1. In fact, I think I just did that today, and yeah, there it is. But in the past, clicking on these little buttons here would bring up a modal dialog panel, and that's fine for most things. But sometimes you just want to work a little quicker where you don't have to hit an OK button. And if you right-click on these things now, these little color buttons down here, you get this non-modal color mixer, and it's not fully functional yet, but I think it's something we can put out there and maybe let the users work with it and see what they think, and maybe they can give us some feedback on that. And it's just one less step of not having to hit that OK button. I think will just be appeal to some users. That is. Alright, well, I've been going on for quite a while. The main thing I really should talk about is Puppy Ray, which we've made some significant changes in the way of using the GPU acceleration on the processor, or on the on your computer. And as you can see, under the transform Puppy Ray filter, there's a new, well, it's in there somewhere. There is a new GPU accelerated option for rendering with Puppy Ray, and that's something that's going to be covered quite a lot in other videos, so I won't go over it too much here. But these are just some of the changes that are coming. I'm running long, so I'm I'm going to close now, but talk to you later. I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot more about Howler 9.1, and I hope you enjoy. This is a free update for current users. If you want to purchase the program, you're not a current user, you would like to use the program, we do have a great offer going on right now for buying the full version until, well, I'm not sure how long it's going on, but you can always check with us on thebeth3d.com or on my personal website at squirreldome.com. It's called that because I used to write novels about squirrels. So, talk to you later, and happy howling.